to Galesong Dragons Convergence. This very special game of Dungeons & Dragons was put together by the folks at D&D Beyond, along with the Disability Community of Wizards Employee Resource Group, to celebrate and uplift the myriad of disabled content creators and players we have in our gaming communities. I am Makenzie De Armas, game designer for the D&D studio here, and education and advocacy lead for the Disability Community of Wizards. But most importantly, I am going to be your dungeon master for this lovely, lovely game. And for this lovely, lovely game, I have a crew of lovely, lovely people here to play it with me. Please introduce yourselves, lovely, lovely people.
Hi, I am Jen Kretchmer. My pronouns are she, they. I am a white femme person with long, wavy red hair. I am wearing blue eye makeup and a teal sweater, fingerless leather gloves, a black tank top with some blue detailing, and a crisscross harness piece as well. I am going to be playing Stellamedusa, Stella, she, her, who is a sea elf, arcane trickster blade singer.
Hi, my name is Angel Giuffria. My pronouns are she, her. I am a femme presenting person, and I have long dark brown hair. I have half of my hair parted to the side with a long braid and hair jewelry. On the left side, I'm wearing leather brown harnesses across my chest with a lavender/gray shirt, depending on your screen coloration. And I have a blue background. My left arm is a prosthesis that is black carbon fiber. The character that I am playing is called Juni Grin, and her pronouns are she, her. She is a hobgoblin fighter, Psi warrior.
Hello, my name is Rogan Shannon. They, he pronouns. I am wearing a dark blue shirt with stars on them. I have various rings and silver chain dangling earrings with some makeup that looks like constellations on my face. I am a white, masculine, present person. The character I'm playing today is Caelus Argentum. I've used this sign name. I am an astral elf, a draconic sorcerer, and a Drake Warden Ranger multiclass.
Hello, everybody. My name is Quincy. I am a Korean male, he, him. I am currently wearing a tan tunic, leather vest, a leather pauldron on my right arm. I have a red bandana around my neck and goggles, long black hair pulled back into a ponytail with gauntlets on my wrists. I will be playing the character of Quincy, who I've taken my name from. Essentially, Quincy is a half-elf artificer artillerist, and pronouns for them are also he, him.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aliza Pearl. I am a Black Latina woman with caramel golden skin, blonde shoulder-length locks with dark roots. I'm wearing a spaghetti strap tank top that is kind of a bronze brassy color for my character. And I'm also wearing fingerless black and white gloves. My pronouns are she, her. And my character's name is Bergamot Dracendras, also she, her. And she is a fairy dragonborn fighter who is an arcane archer.
And as your dungeon master, I will be playing everyone else. As for me, though, I am a young Filipino woman with a dark pixie cut, round gold-rimmed glasses, and a red flannel. I use she, her pronouns, and we are also here today accompanied by a pair of wonderful ASL interpreters, both of whom are mask-presenting individuals in black clothes against plain backgrounds. These individuals will also be voicing for Rogan Shannon. I think that is everything, barring a couple of surprises that I have been asked not to spoil.
Ooh.
So, are we ready to play some Dungeons & Dragons?
Yes! Let's go!
Yes!
Tucked away along the glittering and vibrant Sword Coast lies Stormwreck Isle. Legends whispered among townsfolk and hidden away in the depths of old libraries tell of an ancient draconic battle that once ravaged the skies above the Sword Coast, and that it was a fallen dragon's molten rage that formed the volcanic spires of the island. Other rumors speak of fantastical hot springs, abundant undersea caves, and latent magic that hums in the island's air. Long ago, a group of intrepid mages banded together to explore the island and research, and under their supervision, the Pendectum Observatory was established on Stormwreck Isle. Adorned with gorgeous stained glass windows and marble spires, the observatory's towers stand high above the churning sea on separate islets, linked by shimmering bridges of magical energy. The Pendectum Observatory is a hub of arcane innovation and discovery, a beacon of adventure upon sunset-painted cliffs. Quincy, Stella, and Juni, what brings you to the Pendectum Observatory today?
Quincy, half elf, pointed ears, hair kind of covering him, is at the observatory. I'm here mainly for the money, honestly. The money and the bounty seem really good, but I also have I've never seen a dragon up close, like a real one, like a big one, like only in pictures and things. But so, not only would it be interesting to get paid to see a dragon, possibly even kill one, I'd like a souvenir, particularly something shiny, maybe a scale or a claw or a tooth. Yeah.
All dragons aren't bad. My mentor was a dragon.
Oh,
and he's the reason that I'm here. I wanted to come here to learn all about the stars. I'm working on a fantastic new engineering system, a navigation system that uses the stars to help people find their way when they get lost. And my mentor, Beryl, sent me here to try and find information at the observatory. And Stella has this silvery green skin, pointed, almost fringed ears, long dark blue hair that is covered with a constellation like pearls woven in. She is wearing an outfit that is made of shark skin and studded with crustacean shells. And she is leaning on a sea glass cane. Her eyes are bright turquoise. She's about 5'5" and slender, and has moon phase tattoos all the way down her spine. Her cane glows slightly with bioluminescence and has a mother of pearl handle on it. And her fingers are a little bit longer than a lot of folks, and there's a bit of webbing between her fingers as well.
I'm Juni, Juni Grin. I'm here because of my friend Stella. So I'm a hobgoblin, and I've been living in a hobgoblin community for a long time. When I developed my psi powers, didn't know what they were, so I've been honing them myself. And then I set out and I tried to figure out what was going on and to learn more about it, that there's others like me. And I met Stella at her school, and she told me we were going on these cool adventures. So I figured I'd just go with her and go on these cool adventures and learn more about everything. Oh, what do I look like? So I have dark hair and dark eyes, and I'm a hobgoblin, so I have pointy ears and reddish brown skin, and I wear a harness that has lots of pockets and pouches because I have one hand. I was born that way. So I wear this cool prosthesis that I made. Isn't it awesome? It's metallic and shiny, and I love how it looks. It's my favorite thing. I made it all by myself. But yeah, I also wear short sleeves all the time because, long sleeves are a bummer when you have to wear them over, a whole cool metallic arm.
And as you three sort of explore the areas of the observatory, crossing one of these magical bridges that, as you kind of move across them, they look like they are translucent and they might be made of glass, but it is a kind of glass that hums beneath your feet. There is light seeming to streak through them as you walk across from the cliffs across to the big rotunda that stands at the center of the observatory's courtyard. Right in front of you, you can see the courtyard bustling with people in these beautiful gold-trimmed robes, some of them with stacks of books, others with spectral arcane hands holding up notebooks and quills, others tinkering with mechanics that seem very similar to how your arm works, Juni. That kind of gears and clockworks mixing together with arcane or psionic energy to move of their own accord. And you can walk into this courtyard, and in the center is this glittering celestial-like sculpture that seems to depict numerous constellations and planetary objects kind of moving in motion. Golden orbs dotted with jewel-like stars as it sort of turns in the center of this large rotunda courtyard. As you kind of cross the bridge and approach and sort of start making your way through the crowd, you see a shorter gnome figure with dark skin and hair pulled into a long braid down their back. And they sort of look up at you and sort of look up from the small little clockwork dinosaur looking creature that they have been fiddling with in their hands and go, "Oh, hi, are you visitors here? Hello, welcome to the observatory."
Did you make that yourself?
Oh, yes. Do you like tinkering too? And she will point to Juni's arm.
Me? Yeah, I love tinkering.
Oh,
You made that?
yeah, I made this. His name is Bartholomew. I'm still trying to get him to quite work, and she will fiddle and pull a key out of her pocket and plug it into kind of the base where this long ridge of spines crest across the mechanical dinosaur's back and sort of wind it up, and it will judder and sort of start before marching kind of almost comically large steps across her hand. Very jaunty little dinosaur stegosaurus looking toy.
That's fascinating. Oh my. Yes, we are visitors here. That is an amazing piece of work you've got there. What's your name?
Oh, my name is Kyra.
Kyra, it's nice to meet you. My name is Quincy. These are my friends, Juni, with the very cool arm, and Stella, the beautiful elf here as well. Hello.
Hello.
We're here just for a couple, for our own individual purposes and such, but we're mostly here to see the Pendectum Observatory.
Oh, well, here you are. Isn't it lovely? I've been studying here for the past several days now. It's been so nice. You can hear the sea whenever you're resting. And they've got a couple of private towers as well for if you want to do some more like explosive experiments.
Oh.
One of them kind of got destroyed last night though, so I'm not sure. You might want to avoid that one. And she will point over across the bridge to where you see these two statues that anchor every single of these arcane bridges, and one of them has taped across it kind of a caution or hazard tape across those ones. Yeah, we don't know what happened. It kind of felt like an earthquake or maybe someone's experiment went wrong. We didn't find anyone when we went to go look, but you know, no one's missing as far as I'm aware, so probably just someone's experiment.
Does that happen often, experiments going awry here?
But that's what experimentation is all about.
Yeah.
That's true, absolutely. I can understand that.
You can't discover anything new if you know you're doing it right. Do you know where Ryland is? Ryland was going to tell me all about the stars. I was so excited.
I'm not sure. I haven't seen Ryland in a bit, but they're kind of in the artifact and archaeology sort of research department. I do more of the engineering stuff, so our fields don't exactly cross. But if you're looking at, you know, the stars and experimentation and all of that, and specifically successful experiments, apparently there's supposed to be a big demonstration here today. There's a big lecture, and then they're going to be doing some really incredible experiment or something. I'm not sure what the details are, but a lot of my classmates have been talking all about it. They're saying it's going to be a great display of arcane achievement, the biggest in the century even. It's I didn't pay attention in class this morning when they announced it, so I'm not quite sure about the details, but it sounds really cool.
Stella, we should go to that.
That sounds really good. Would Ryland know that? the information of where that's happening?
Well, I know where. I at the very least know where it's happening. It's right here around this big old statue. And she'll point to the big celestial sculpture that rotates in the center of the rotunda. Yeah, you didn't hear this from me, but apparently that sculpture, it's like a massive arcane focus. Like, you know the little ones that we use to replace material components? That's like a big one that it's hard for a lot of people to use because it's so massive and it can channel so much energy. But I've heard if you can really focus your energy, or if you have a big source of it, it just helps magnify it even more. I've been trying to do studies similar to magnifying and amplifying arcane foci with, Bartholomew, but...
He's your arcane focus.
Well, I'm trying to get him to do that. Mostly he just putters around my desk.
I like that.
I'm sure one day he'll be a very powerful focus.
You hear that, Bartholomew? So you better work. As Kyra
if you switch those gears, it might change those steps from so clunky. It looks like it might be backwards.
Yeah. Why don't we take a seat over here, and Kyra will gesture to like a little bench and a little clearing that's off to the side of this big sculpture. If you're not doing anything, I'd love to see what you all think about tinkering around with this. I got my tools right here. She slaps a pouch.
I pull out my tinker's tools.
All right, there's a bench right over there. So let's, Bartholomew, we're gonna give you a checkup, and maybe this time you'll work. And she will set Bartholomew down on this bench and gesture for you three to join her as you all tinker around with Bartholomew and trying to fix him. While that is happening, Bergamot and Kalus, what brings you to the Pandectum Observatory today?
Yesterday, Kalus and I went on a successful mission. We were sent by a couple of people to recover something here on the island, and we were told in a tavern that we should see the observatory while we were here. But also for Bergamot, as we're walking towards the Pandectum Observatory to Kalus, she says, Kalus, I'm glad that we get to have a little bit of an excursion while we're here, and it's not just work. Because as a fairy dragonborn from the Feywild, I've never actually seen a dragon. And so this island feels like a pilgrimage to me. Just all this draconic energy and history all in one place. It's so exciting. And Bergamot Trasinas actually does look like a fairy in size and shape. So she's kind of tall for a fairy at 4'10", but short for a dragonborn. She has fairy wings. She has this humanoid form that is, her skin is this beautiful dark golden brass color with tinges of red and greens kind of in there, in that beautiful metallic hue. She also has she has mint green hair that is in an upswept pixie cut with dark green roots, and she wears a kind of a natural colored romper without sleeves under her leather armor. And she also carries a strange looking contraption on her back that looks maybe like the bow of a crossbow. And she looks to Kalus as she shares this with them.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed that part of that, just with the magic and all. That's part of what I miss from my home at the astral plane. It's where I grew up and what I'm used to. So when you look at Kalus, you will see, I'd say, an average height for an astral elf with dark blue skin, has a little bit of a shine running through his arms, and that's from the draconic heritage of a silver dragon. Also has silver horns that run off of his forehead and towards the back. The hair is purple, it has a wave to it, and has white highlights that run through it. Clothing wise, very simple, very subtle colors that really contrast with the skin tone, the dark blue skin. Also, there you can see like specks of white on my skin that looks kind of like stars. And I'm always wearing silver jewelry, rings, earrings, and you can see different markings on my face, and that is from my elven heritage. Oh, and of course, I have a companion. It's very obvious. You always see a very small silver drake draped around my neck and shoulders, and it always seems to just be resting there, almost like a scarf.
Oh, so you two also approach the Pandectum Observatory, also moving across these arcane bridges that hum beneath your feet and sparkle with these brilliant iridescent lights. You too see the bustling courtyard, as well as that gorgeous celestial sculpture that moves at the center of the rotunda courtyard.
Wow. I'm sure this observatory also kind of makes you feel closer to the astral plane. Does it, Kalis?
Oh, yes. It's been a while since I've last been able to rest and actually look up at the stars. I mean, this seems like it's perfect opportunity. I haven't gotten a real good up close look at it for a while. So it's kind of exciting to see that, especially here. I feel a lot of magic in here, and that's kind of why we're here, isn't it?
Yes, me too. I feel that magic. By the way, do you think that Moonstone Dragon would recognize us if we wander over there again?
Ooh. I mean, we're not exactly common. So it's a potential of being recognized. I just hope, we don't actually meet up again. Yeah, I hope they don't have hard feelings, at least, we didn't intend to hurt them, at least not too much.
Yeah, and I sang them a song, and we told them stories. It was just in and out. We just did the job and left. They were unharmed.
Right, exactly. Hopefully they'll find some peace.
As you two are conversing with each other, you see, and Kalis, you recognize this kind of creature from many of your travels across the astral plane. You've seen them occasionally on material plane worlds, but they are most common traveling across the astral sea and other extraplanar places. It is a amorphous creature, kind of made of almost silvery purple goo that has been, it appears to be almost kind of shoved or filling out these set of kind of wrinkled robes that are the observatory's kind of standard for their long-term students and faculty. This is a plasmoid, a very amorphous goo creature who the DM loves very much. This plasmoid very much happily moves over to you and signs to you, Kalus. Oh, are you from the astral plane too?
Oh yeah, I grew up there.
Oh, that's so wonderful. I haven't met anyone else who's traveled the astral plane since I've been here.
Oh yeah, it's good. You don't see other people very often. At least not from the astral plane. I mean, it's great to see a little bit of home.
You'll really like it here. I don't know if you got a chance to check out the sculpture, but I helped make it. It sort of is an artistic interpretation of the various spaces you see as you're sailing through the astral plane. It reminds me of my old ship and such.
Bergamot feels drawn to this place and will kind of start inching over, looking at it.
The plasmoid will also turn to you, Bergamot. Oh, and you have such gorgeous scales. Are you from the Feywild, or were you born here on the material plane or elsewhere?
I am from the Feywild, and thank you. Yes, I'm from a place that is very remote, long lost, some might say. It's nice to be here on Stormwreck Isle, close to all this draconic energy. I feel closer to my ancestors here.
You're descended from dragons?
I am. Brass dragons.
Oh, that would
I've never actually seen a brass dragon, or any metallic dragon.
That would explain the scale coloration.
Yes.
Pardon me for eavesdropping. Did you mention a moonstone dragon?
No. And Bergamot looks at Kalis very quickly. I don't think so. Where'd you hear that? Should I roll?
I'm sorry. we were talking about the actual moon. We've never said anything about the dragon. We were talking strictly about the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Roll me a deception check, Bergamot, but you will get advantage because Kalis is helping.
Whew, thank you, Kalis. That's a 17, and then... Oh, natural 20 on the second one, 25.
Oh, my bad. I must have been watching you sign from the wrong angle. I didn't mean to do that. But if you love like the moon and lunar studies, and if you just love things that involve space, there's supposed to be this really big spectacle that's happening today, right here in the rotunda, actually. Very, very soon, actually, as the plasmoid looks up at the sun to sort of track the time. It has something to do with kind of like what we do with in the astral sea, reaching out to other planes, something along those lines, other planets, other moons. I wasn't aware of the specifics, but it's supposed to be this really amazing spectacle reaching all across the astral sea and even beyond. So I think you should be really interested in that. I don't know if we're doing any expeditions to any of the dragon ruins anytime soon, but if you do, I will let you know. It'll probably happen after the whole big hoopla.
Oh. Well, that sounds lovely. Also, would you know if there's a gift shop here?
Roll for gift shop. 1 second. That's cocked. We roll for gift shop. Oh, well, we don't have a full gift shop, but my friend does run a little stand over there, and we'll point to a corner of the rotunda where a small little kiosk has been set up, and it has a little sign that says Pandectum Potpourri. So there's a little they point over to a little kiosk that has been set up in the corner of the rotunda with a lovely hand-painted sign that says Pandectum Potpourri, and it's got a bunch of little kitschy little trinkets on there. It's got like a little mini model of one of the statues that is one of the anchors for the bridge. It's got a little a tiny little model of the sculpture that's in the center of the rotunda that if you like turn a key on the side, it also rotates and plays music. It's also got a little snow globe that has the ruins in it. It also has one of those oil water kind of snow globes where instead of the snow it's like the water, so you have it the observatory balancing on the water, and then if you shake it around you can make the observatory inside the little case go
Ooh. I might have to get some trinkets later.
I mean, they're very neat. I'm not sure exactly how much they are good. But we have some visitors sometimes, so, you know, my friend Mila sometimes runs that, and she's very proud of her little things. I think they're tourist traps, but, you know, you didn't hear that from me.
Noted. Did we catch your name?
Oh, I'm Tula.
Tula, it's so nice to meet you. I'm Bergamot.
Nice to meet you.
My name is Kalis. Nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you both. I'm gonna go help get set up for the big presentation, but it was lovely to see a fellow traveler from the astral sea and meet you as well. I will hopefully see you for the big show. And the
Wait, do you know where that show is actually going to happen?
Oh,
I mean, where's the event?
It's right here, and the plasmoid will gesture to the big statue, and you can actually see now, in this courtyard, there are some groups that have coalesced. One of them is huddled around the bench, looking at what is a tiny mechanical dinosaur-looking creature. But among these other groups, you can see some folks are bringing out little pedestals, and on top of them they are placing different objects. A bottle that is filled with this iridescent kind of steam, a pile of teeth that have been carved to look like swirling clouds. Roll me a perception check, the both of you.
That's a 22 for me.
Excellent. And Kalus?
13.
Okay. Bergamot, you're the one who picks up on this. As you're kind of looking, and Kalus, you are taking in the sights and looking at everyone sort of setting up for this show. Bergamot, as you were watching people set up, you see them place out on one of these little pedestals a very familiar looking horn shard.
I will subtly nudge Kalus and then sign to them, be discreet, but do you see what those people over there are handling?
And Kalus, with Bergamot's direction, you can also see the shard of horn from the Moonstone Dragon you had helped acquire just last night.
I wasn't expecting to see that so soon.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, at all.
Yeah, same.
Quincy, Stella, and Juni, please also make me a perception check.
Natural 1.
Oh no.
Bartholomew's very interesting.
Bartholomew's very interesting. Quincy and Juni, you two are engrossed in Bartholomew, and possibly also Kyra's very passionate interjections at her companion. It is the very loving, like, I know you can function, please function. However, Stella, you take a moment and you kind of scan and you look at they are setting up for this ritual, and you see the very iconic round bottle filled with that swirling iridescent steam being placed on one of these pedestals. And there is a second where you doubt it, but you see very clearly the crusty kombucha remains at the bottom of it. And you know for a fact that's your bottle.
I sort of elbow Juni and I sort of point to it and I go, that's a little weird. We don't see our friends, do we?
You do not see anyone yet.
No Valachi or Ryland.
Stinky.
Okay. I wonder why they're... Excuse me, why are you putting those out? I ask one of the people putting things on pedestals.
And you see a little kobold who has this big sort of bag of what looks like golden scales, as they're golden dragon scales, as they kind of hobble over or waddle over and place this on a pedestal that one of their associates had put out. And the kobold looks over at you. This short, draconic-looking creature with a long snout and bluish scales that are spotted with red, and they look up at you and go, Roy, Professor Veloci kind of asked for us to put these out. They're getting ready for the big display thing.
Oh, this is why they needed us to do that. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Professor Veloci is going to be out soon, so hopefully the ritual will start soon.
Great. Is there a place to get popcorn?
And they will point over to Pandectum Potpourri.
Oh, and I'm going to go ahead. I'm actually going to take out a little my crab figurine made of sea glass and put it down. and I'm going to swap over into, it grows into a full-size hermit crab-like contraption that with a seat on it. And I'm going to sit down and I'm going to put my cane kind of on my back, and I'm going to use my chair to go over, and I am going to pick up some popcorn because it feels like this might be a show, and snacks are wonderful.
Yes. Yes.
Am I engrossed enough that I don't notice this, or do we see her leave?
I would say because Stella was talking to you right before this, you definitely see Stella walk off, or sit in the chair and have the chair walk off.
Stella, what are you getting?
What? Popcorn? Do you want?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. Can I give you?
Quincy?
And so you take this thing right here, kind of. So what you got to do is you got to take your little pick right here and you put that right there. Your spring is off just a touch.
Also.
What? Hello?
Popcorn?
Oh, yes, thank you. That'd be great. Thank you.
Stella and Juni, you kind of go off to this kiosk that is, as you kind of walk by, it is almost on the kind of edge of this, where they're setting up these pedestals for this presentation. And you kind of go over and you start to get your popcorn very close to where Bergamot and Kalus are, while Quincy, you are with, also still very close to kind of the edge of this platform as you're working with Kyra and Bartholomew. You all see a very familiar blue-furred tabaxi in a very sleek racing wheelchair approach. They are flanked by a couple of attendants, and it looks like they are going over some notes before rolling up a ramp onto a larger semi-stage that has been added to the very front of this sculpture podium. And they sort of tap this large crystal, and an illusion of common language words appears at the base of the pedestal, and they also begin to speak in a voice that is projected across the rotunda.
Thank you all for gathering here today. This is something I have worked toward for many years, and I am eager to see it brought to fruition on this most auspicious of islands. But first, a brief history lesson. After all, this is a place of learning, and I would be remiss not to teach something before my demonstration. Legend has it that dragons were the first inhabitants of the material plane. The platinum dragon Bahamut and the five-headed, multicolored Tiamat painted together what would be known as the first world. They created the metallic dragons, the chromatic dragons, their beloved, the ruby-red Sardier, who created the glittering gem dragons. But conflict arose, and that beautiful, pristine first world was torn asunder. Dragons were splintered across the multiverse, each shard and draconic echo inhabiting a different, disparate world. You ever wonder what those echoes would think of us? Do they feel the graves of the slain dragons that litter this isle? Do they recoil at the chaos and failure? Let us ask them ourselves. My name is Eldenamir. Hearken to me, echoes of dragonkind, bolster me, and together we will bring this world a revelation.
Is it just me, or is that seeming like bad news?
And as he speaks, you see all the items on this pedestal, some of them very, very painfully familiar to you five. They begin to glow. And as he speaks, he begins to transform. Blue fur sheds to give way to scintillating cerulean scales, and slick nictitating membranes blink across slit pupil eyes. Padded paws melt into sharp talons, membranous wings unfurl from the back, and cat-like ears give way to a sharp frill. Where this tabaxi once was, there is now a towering blue dragon, his maws crackling with the sharp smell of ozone, and his hind legs prosthetics of coalesced storm clouds linked with tendons of silvery lightning. For a moment, the world goes silent. Then cracks begin to appear in the air, glowing with that same light that those artifacts are, that as you see now, the celestial sculpture in the center of this observatory also glows with. Like the air itself is made of glass about to break. A pause, a breath, and then a roar that rumbles through the ground as a vortex of thick, dark clouds bursts forth from the crack in the air, and I need everyone to please make me a strength saving throw.
Ooh.
I got a 9.
17.
16.
Quincy, Juni, and Kalus, you all take 3 force damage, while Stella and Bergamot, you take 6. All of you, though, feel yourselves get pulled towards this vortex of churning dark clouds. You see bits of stone start to crumble and break off of the observatory around you. You hear and see people running and shouting, trying to grab other people and move out of the way of the vortex. But you 5 have been grabbed and yanked towards this vortex as it seems to expand and get close to encroaching upon you all.
What is happening? I sign to Kalus. And I also say it out loud.
I don't know.
Is this part of the presentation? Does it get pulled in?
I know it doesn't look good.
Who are you people?
Maybe we can try to stop it. Maybe we can figure out part of what's going on.
Are we stuck?
Y'all are currently kind of floating in the air and actively getting pulled into the vortex.
Quincy's gonna be so excited to see a dragon, but oh my goodness, this is kind of scary.
This isn't what I meant. And I want to go ahead and, as an action, if I can, I want to create my Eldritch Cannon.
Okay.
So Quincy, as he's kind of spiraling in this vortex, opens up his hip bag and pushes his hand in there, and out comes like a bunch of gears and pieces of metal and everything, and magically it all forms around his wrist as a gauntlet, and it is its Eldritch Cannon, and it takes the form of the ballista version, as my artillerist can create. And I want to go ahead, and if I can, I want to shoot at the center of that apex to try to damage it, push it, do something with it.
Okay, make me an attack roll.
I will absolutely. So it'll be a +8. I will just use this roll for it. 11.
You shoot that blast of fire, that blast from your cannon, and it seems to go wide before the center of the dark clouds, and that vortex pulses with light. And even though the shot went wide, it is curved and pulled in, and you see the light of that blast get pulled and absorbed into the vortex, and the vortex itself pulses and grows larger. And you see
I think you made it bigger.
No, that's not what I meant.
And Quincy, as it pulses and gets bigger, you feel a tendril of dark cloud wrap around you and pull you into the vortex.
May I use my Mage Hand Legerdemain to try and shatter the bottle that we collected?
Yes. Are you gonna try and bop it?
Yeah, knock it off the pedestal.
Okay.
Just anything to crack it and break it.
Roll me a check with your spell casting.
For Mage Hand Legerdemain, do you want me to do the sleight of hand for
actually,
the
no,
Mage Hands?
sleight of hand, sorry.
Or do you want, okay. So that's gonna be a 24.
24, you successfully use your mage hand and push this bottle off its pedestal, and it shatters, and you see that iridescent steam overflow, and it looks like it's about to flow out before it stops, and the vortex pulses again, and it sucks in the steam, pulling it in, drawing it in, and again that vortex flares angrily.
Wow, well that didn't work.
Quincy,
Quincy is inside the vortex.
He's gone.
Quincy's gone.
He tried to grab you. It's too late.
Well, let's go, I guess.
Go how? We still stuck.
Into the vortex?
Into the...
We've got to go help save Quincy.
You're right. You're right. He's our friend.
And I will have my chair I will push forward, just full speed, full tilt into the swirling vortex of unknown ancient dragons who are probably very angry at us.
Stella, I'm scared.
I reach out my hand behind me.
Okay.
And you two plunge headfirst into the swirling vortex. Bergamot and Kalus, you see one person get pulled into the vortex and two people plunge in after him. What are y'all doing?
Do we still see the things on the pedestals?
The
Moonstone Dragon Horn?
You can see the Moonstone Dragon Horn sort of holding up and glowing, and you can see the tendrils of dark clouds pulling and sucking up magic from it.
Okay. Eee. What do you think, Bergamot?
I think Bergamot is a couple of things. Bergamot is probably trying to hold on to something, anything, including Kalus, like just grabbing, trying to orient herself.
Okay.
And also seeing what just happened to these other three people, thinking this might be inevitable that we're getting sucked into the vortex. But yeah, probably just first trying to stabilize herself.
Okay. Roll me another strength save.
Okay. Better, 14.
Okay. You stabilize yourself somewhat. You can flap your fairy wings and try and buff it up against the wind. But as you see the sea elf and the hobgoblin get charged into the vortex, it pulses again and grows. And you feel like you're just about to steady yourself, and then the wind picks up, and you are swept off your feet. You are able to grab onto Kalus. Kalus, you are essentially being dragged towards the vortex as Bergamot is holding onto you and pulling you towards the center.
I think we maybe just try to go in and see if we can stop it from the inside, because I don't think there's anything we can do out here.
Mm-hmm. Bergamot says, okay!
And you two...
Yep. So I'm going to continue to hold on to Bergamot, just, so that we can run right in, I guess.
And you two also plunge into the eye of the storm. And all five of you feel yourselves, as you pass into the center of the storm, into this vortex, you feel floating, weightless even. You are sitting in your chair, Stella, but there is that sense of there is no ground beneath your chair's legs. And there are rushing winds that tug at your clothes and equipment, but they make no sound. They do not have that battering roar of wind. And it is almost kind of a gentle tugging. Around you churn dark clouds that swirl with iridescent light and rumble with energy. Bits of these light start to flare, and you see them forming these winged shadows that soar through the storm around you. Membranous wings, long necks, long lizard-like snouts. These are the shadows of dragons in all varying colors. Glittering gems like amethyst and sapphire, shining metallics like silver and copper, and brilliant chromatic colors like green and red. All of these shadows kind of swirl around you, and the wind starts to rumble, and you can see it almost like forming words as these dragons all kind of start to whisper amongst themselves, both vocally, but also you can see the magic itself coalescing into words before dissipating it back into the clouds.
Are we still all floating?
You are all still
are we
floating.
reading? Can we read and understand the words that are in the clouds?
You can catch fragments of the statement. They are in common. There are bits and pieces that say, "Who are these? Who are they? Why are we here?" And there are also other phrases that are just anger, curiosity, zeal, emotions, just sort of fluttering into words amongst the clouds and then disappearing.
Are we all together, or
All
since
five
Quincy
of you.
Okay.
All five of you are together kind of in the eye of the storm, surrounded by these draconic echoes that begin to observe you, swirling around you.
Since we are floating, I am going to switch back and pocket my chair because floating is easy.
Yes.
There's no gravity in floating. Feels nice. And try and orient myself and see who else is here with me. Make sure we're all okay.
You orient yourself and you see Quincy and Juni, as well as two figures you have seen around the observatory, but who are new to you, an astral elf and a fairy with brass draconic scales.
Is everyone okay?
I think so. I think I'm good.
Ish.
Yeah, same amount of limbs I started with.
Yeah. What happened? Why are we floating?
Well, apparently Valachi wasn't Valachi.
Yeah. Valachi is a dragon, Valachi.
You know Valachi too?
You know Valachi?
We thought Valachi was our friend, but apparently not.
Yeah.
Do you know Vrylan too?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. How do you
But
know
I didn't see her. Did you see her?
No.
How do you know those
Who are
two?
you?
Well, my name is Bergamot. This is my friend Kalus. And yesterday we were hired by Vryland and Valachi to secure something. We were hired for a mission.
Us too. I'm Stella. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Juni.
Hi, Juni.
Hi, yes, I'm floating and I'm Quincy. Was it essentially draconic in nature that you had to get for Vryland and Valachi?
And I look at Kalus. Yes, it was.
Was it
You
a bit
too?
odd and random? Yes.
Mhm.
Like oddly specific?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you see it in that summoning circle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. We were used
I think we got.
Yeah.
big time.
Don't call out the DM with the, was it weird and oddly specific? God, I wonder why.
That's strange.
So then, where are we?
And as you ask that question, you see one of the echoes, amethyst in color, sort of fly up to you and get close to your face, and it speaks, and words also kind of coalesce along as it speaks.
What a strange and suspicious meeting. Pity our time here should be fleeting.
That was spooky.
Who was that?
Yeah.
Who are you?
And at that question, a silver echo comes up and floats along your group before answering.
Echoes we are,
brought from worlds afar by the singing of this isle's draconic scars.
What?
They're echoes.
Memories?
Like ghosts?
Spirits?
Gonna die.
Are we ghosts now?
I don't feel like a ghost.
And
To feel real.
Feel me.
Okay.
both Stella and Quincy at the same time. That.
Yep, you're solid.
Okay.
As you both bap, Juni, you look down and you see an emerald shadow or an emerald colored echo sort of sweep down beneath you before turning, before barrel rolling to look up at you as it sort of flies through the clouds beneath you, and it too speaks to the group.
A zealous dragon's ascension to Great Worm? It is his fault that these storm clouds churn. You are safe here in the storm's eye, but beyond these winds is where your quarry lies.
I like that one.
Wait, so is this
zealous
a mission? We on a quest?
That last one said, a zealous dragon's ascension to Great Worm. We were part of a ritual to help, I think, that blue dragon become a great worm. Which is very scary and powerful.
Nobody asked me if I wanted to be part of that.
Yeah. Stella, can I kill this dragon?
I mean, we should probably talk to it first and
Wait, which one?
see if we can convince it. But our quarry lies. Well, is there anyone here who can help us?
Yeah, if we're safe here, we
we're
can
new
just
here
stay.
and we really don't know what we're doing. This is very confusing and there's a lot going on, which is really exciting, but also very confusing.
Kalis, you were saying something.
Yeah. It sounds like this great worm maybe wants to become all of the dragons, which would not be good because the dragons are already powerful enough on their own. And I think the zealot, could really be talking with. I mean, I don't think anyone here is safe. I mean, what if we're here forever? I don't want to be floating, as fun as this is, I don't really want to be floating here forever.
Agreed.
At that, a red echo swims up through the group, through the eye itself, spreading its wings before gracefully diving down and speaking as well.
A convergence of worlds, a gale of souls. To escape these clouds, you must pay our tolls. Dragon laugh.
That was quite a dragon laugh.
I'm very intimidated now.
What kind of pay? I didn't really bring. What do you?
I don't have much money.
I got, what do you think they want?
I would guess the toll is something that's not money.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's magic or some other thing that we have.
We have that alchemy jug.
And potions.
We do.
Kalis, as you mentioned, these tolls may not be of magic. You see a green-colored echo sweep through and sort of nod at you before it speaks in turn as well.
3 layers of storm, and thus 3 trials, tests of might and strength, and wit and guile.
That one is a little snarlier than I expected.
I didn't sign up for this.
Do you think we got all that?
Oh,
Might,
tests.
wit, and guile. I can help on the last 2, maybe.
Strength? Oh.
I mean, hopefully we can all work together and figure this out.
We're all friends, right?
Yes, we are in this together.
Yeah.
New friends.
I can tell that we're all friends. Y'all aren't lying to me.
I'm not
Team Dragon Task, unless someone has a better name, because that's just the first thing that popped into my head, and I think we can do better.
Well, let's be team get out of this floating area right now.
Yep.
They said we were safe here, so okay, I guess. We'll get out.
And as you say that, a copper dragon appears from the edge of the clouds, and it flies in a circle, and you see as it flies, it carves a pathway, a tunnel of sorts in these clouds, leading further into and yet at the same time out of the storm. And as you pass through and move through that tunnel and begin to move out of the eye and into the storm proper, you hear one last dragon echo whisper its words of wisdom.
Prove yourselves worthy of our draconic wonder, and save your world from being ripped asunder.
We gotta save the world?
Okay. We're getting paid, right?
Whoa.
Huh.
Somebody else was taking notes on all of this, right?
That maybe we just need to save our own lives.
Agreed.
We'll start there.
And as you pass from the eye of the storm into the first layer of the storm, we're going to take our break there. So you all walk through this tunnel in the storm clouds, or you all move through this tunnel in the storm clouds, and as you do, you feel that sense of weightlessness start to leave you, and you find solid floor. The whirling storm coalesces into a chamber littered with the remnants of an ancient battle. Rusted armor and blades are scattered across the floor. At the center of the room are statues of 3 dragons, tails entwined. Around the perimeter of the room, from the ephemeral, cloudy ceiling, hang from ropes 3 spherical metal cages, one glowing with golden light, one filled with embers, and one bursting with electricity. Swirling through the mist form letters, and you hear one of the echoes speak again.
Fire, crackle, and radiant light return to each dragon their powerful bite.
And you are in the first challenge.
What did he say? Something about golden light, embers, and electricity in each sphere returning to the dragons? The statues?
So we should help them?
I think we have to put the right statues with the right magic.
Sense.
When we see these dragon statues with the tails intertwined,
yes.
Can we see any differences between them? What do they look like?
As you get closer to them, these 3 statues are very distinctly different.
May I begin casting my bioluminescent tides as a ritual?
Yes.
That is my detect magic.
Yes. As you do that, you see as Bergamot, as you get closer to these statues, one of them has very clear, almost pearly white crystal spines running down its back. One of them, its snout and the edges of its frill are tinged with red. And the third one has scales of bronze. I will have Kalus roll me an Arcana check with advantage because this is about dragons.
17.
Nice. So you easily recognize these 3 dragons. There is a red dragon, which are known for their flame breath. Bronze dragons, known for their lightning breath. And crystal dragons, known for their unusual breath of pure, scintillating light.
Okay, I pass that information along to let them know that the orbs each match up to 1 dragon, That's very obvious, so I go ahead and explain that.
So we have to touch. Do we take the cage and put it next to the proper dragon? Is that what we are? I don't know if I want to touch a cage that's on fire.
Well, I can help with that, perhaps.
Okay.
Or they're on ropes, right?
Yes. The cages are each about 15 feet equidistant from the statues that are in the center of this cloudy chamber. And the spheres themselves are about 10 feet above the ground, hanging from thin ropes.
So how heavy do you think they are?
Not that heavy, less than 10 pounds.
Okay.
Oh. Yes, the ropes is probably a better plan than what I was thinking.
That's a much better plan. I'd like to activate my winged boots and fly up to the lightning crackling cage and see if there's a way to untie the rope and if I could like drag the cage closer to the proper dragon.
What does it look like when you activate your winged boots, first of all?
So Quincy will kind of like reach down and kind of like look like he's tying his shoes or at least tightening his laces. And as when he does that, some gears start to spin on the side and out from it pops two sets of wings on each foot. They're not kind of like bird-like wings. They kind of look very hubris-like. So like it's kind of like leather and cloth, definitely mechanically an aesthetic that kind of flutter really fast like a hummingbird that's kind of like struggling, or like an overweight bumblebee with very little wings trying its best to stay afloat. And so these kind of rev up, and Quincy then will step as walking on air and fly up to the cage.
And as you fly up to the cage, you see that this rope itself, as you look up and it attaches to the ceiling, it appears to be made from the cloud or the storm itself. It is like a tendril of cloud, starts from the ceiling and then coalesces into this rope. There is a knot at the top of this cage that is tying the spherical metal cage, crackling with energy, attaching it to the rope.
I will, before I touch it, I will pull out the potion of lightning resistance we got before. I will drink that real quick and then go to grab the rope attached to the cage itself.
It is easy enough to untie the cage. However, since you did wholeheartedly grab the lightning, I am going to roll some damage. But it is halved because of the potion of lightning resistance. Okay, you're going to take 4 lightning damage, halved to 2.
Okay.
But you have in your hands, as you are holding it, a about 2 feet by 2 feet spherical cage crackling with lightning.
I'm gonna shout down to the others. Okay, which one does this go to? Ouch! 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 Which one?
The bronze one.
I'll fly over to the bronze one.
Yep, the bronze one.
All right. While Quincy does that, what are the rest of you doing?
Bergamot, actually, she says this out loud and signs it at the same time. She says, I can help with the fire one. The red dragon gets that one. But I'm deciding how do I just have ranged weapons and I'm not very strong. So I might need someone to help me cut the rope, and then I'll grab it and bring it over to the dragon statue.
I can help with that.
Oh, great.
Kelly. And you watch as basically out of Stella's hair comes through that kind of cuttlefish camouflage shift. You see a small octopus appear. It's a coconut octopus, so it's sort of patches of white and brown, and it flies towards that cage to untie.
Great. I will fly after it, and I'll say thank you to you as I fly past. And yeah, I will just fly and hover and be ready to grab the rope. Maybe have my hands just at the rope.
Are you grabbing the rope or the cage itself? Just to know, for me to know.
The rope.
Okay, cool.
I thought you were getting the cage.
Is the do we think it would be possible to cut the rope above where I'm holding it so I can like carry it with?
That's what my hope is, to untie the rope and you can catch the cage.
But
I think holding the cage hurts, right?
Oh, I thought because I thought you were saying you could fire with something you were good with.
I would take half damage.
Okay.
So if I need to, I can totally grab it.
Yes.
Don't grab it. Don't.
You know what? I have another idea. If we can wait until I finish the spell I'm casting, so if someone else wants to.
Yes.
I have this lovely little mobile mollusk, which is like it's a 3-foot giant clamshell that sort of floats alongside me. It's a variation of a tensor's floating disc. And we could maybe have it land on that and then
Hey guys.
We do have a third
Hey, y'all.
sleep fear.
I actually have my telekinetic movement though, so I can actually move the cage, but I can only do it once per rest, so.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to grab this one. Maybe the mollusk can do the third one.
Okay.
And then you could save your telekinesis for we might need it later.
Okay. It is up to y'all. I will say at this point, the 10 minutes have passed. Quincy, you have brought this sparking electrical ball over to the bronze dragon statue, thrust it up into its maw, and you see the dragon's mouth light up with the same electricity that's in this ball, and then you are able to let go of the big cage of metal, and
Hairs on end.
yeah,
Frizzy.
absolutely fluffy. As you
it's faster and less expensive than a perm.
I like it.
As you finish casting your spell, Stella, you sense 3 receptacles for magic. These are receptacles that are made for evocation energy. Each one is within each dragon has one in its mouth and throat area. One of them has already been filled by the lightning energy. The other 2 still require energy within them.
I think we're on the right track.
Okay. All right. So I'm hovering, flying above this sphere, holding the rope, and then I imagine the little octopus is above me.
Yes.
Ready to untie.
So is the octopus going to use its beak to snap the rope?
If it can't be untied, then yes.
If it is
absolutely.
untied, the cage itself will drop, and the part that Bergamot is holding will not be attached to it. If it cuts it, it will require an attack roll to see if it breaks.
Then yes, I will go ahead and try and clip it with Pelly's beak. Oh no, that's a 10.
Oh.
Can I ask a question? How often can I use hospitality?
You can do hospitality 3 times a day.
Do we think this is a good time? Wouldn't that add to the number of hit points?
It would add to the. It would not add to the attack roll.
Okay.
Because this is the octopus trying to bite through the rope.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Pelly grabs onto it, and Bergamot, you see this octopus curl its tentacles around the rope and gnaw at it. Unfortunately, it is not enough to pierce through the rope's threads. While that is happening, Kalus and Juni, what are y'all doing?
I'm pacing.
Okay. So I was hoping to figure out what would be the other one, how to deal with that, with the one with the light. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot I can do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't fly yet. Kaldar can't fly yet. But I could potentially reach. I don't know. I mean, do we want to try to grab it, or how do we want to do this?
I have my telekinetic movement. I could try it. I could see if I could make it work. I've only been doing it by myself, so I'm hoping that I can figure this out.
I will also say, and if this is okay with Kaluz, Calder, the Drake companion, probably weighs less than 10 pounds. If you wanted to use your telekinetic movement to give Calder a little humph.
Throw him up there and grab it.
And he can from there go hang and bite the rope.
Oh yeah.
Like that idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I think let's try it.
I say this mostly because I love the idea of you.
I would walk a little closer as we do this as well. And I would tell Calder to get ready for it. And then I'd kind of pull him off, toss him up in the air, getting ready for you to grab it telekinetically.
Calder on your palm sort of like does the thing like a small dog will do when it's about ready to go charge after a ball. When you're throwing it for fetch, it like squats down, gets its haunches all raised and squats real low on your palm, and then springs up as you toss him up in the air. And Juni, what does it look like when you use your telekinetic movement to push him up even farther?
So I'm using my psionic power of telekinetic movement. I'm gonna hold my hand up because I'm trying really hard, trying to remember how this works. I've never done it with a little guy like this. So I'm gonna use this purple light kind of illuminates around me, and I look really intensely as he slowly kind of wobbly heads that way and then shoots up there.
You see for a moment Calder doggy paddles in the air and almost kind of rolls onto his back before the movement catches him and he flies up and grabs onto the rope. And from above there is a very happy just as the dragon cheers happily before he starts to gnaw on the rope.
You're doing great.
Let's go back to Fire Cage crew with Pelly and Bergamot and Stella.
All right. I shout down from above. I also have some cross bolts. I can try to just hack away at the rope.
I think I have one more idea that we can maybe try. And you see a dagger come out of my pocket. And using Mage Hand's Legerdemain, I'm going to fly that over to help. Now there's a blade there with Pelly.
Okay.
And my
good.
hand.
Cool.
I really should have brought some daggers with me. It's
I
all
can give you a
crossbows.
spare one if you need it.
I would love that. Thank you.
Oh, look what they're doing. They're doing such an amazing job.
Oh, go Caldor.
Whoa! Oh, Caldor almost fell there. Oh, they're dead.
I think I got it.
So
you're doing awesome, Juni.
Juni, quick question, because you're still have your telekinetic movement up. Are you going to try and catch the thing once it drops after Caldor is done chewing through the rope?
Kalis, are you going to be ready to catch your little friend? If I switch quickly, am I able to do that? Makenzie, am I able to do
I'm
that?
ready.
Yes. Awesome. Okay. So
do I have to roll for Caldor or anything?
Caldor will be fine if you're going to catch him. What will happen is Juni's going to catch this, and you may have to roll to make sure you do not get any wayward radiant energy as you dive to catch Caldor, is what's going to happen.
Got it.
Okay, so Caldor finishes gnawing through the rope, and Juni, you switch your focus onto the ball, and it sort of drops a couple feet before bobbing. Kaluz, please make me a dexterity saving throw.
That's an 11.
Ooh, okay, you catch your little friend as he drops down, and he is so happy in your arms. However, as you kind of you jump to catch him, your feet stumble on some of the things littered on the floor, and you kind of fall, and you're going to take a tiny bit of damage. That is 4 points of radiant damage.
Sorry.
Fire Cage crew, Stella, please roll me another attack with Pelly with advantage now because you also have your Mage Hand Legerdemain also hacking at it.
First is 16. Second is natural 20. So 15 and 23, and my camera drops.
Yeah.
You needed the extra energy. 20. Yeah, you needed the extra energy.
The natural 20 was so powerful. It was like, no. Pelly, along with your Mage Hand Legerdemain, easily cut through the rope. Pelly bubbles off and floats down back to you, while Bergamot, you have this cage in your hand and you're able to easily carry it. There's a moment where your flight almost bobs from the sudden weight being put on it, but you've got it steadily in your hand.
All right, I'm gonna fly over to the red dragon.
And you fly over and you bring it up to the dragon's maw, and it alights with this crimson flame that curls out of the side around the statue's teeth. Juni, are you bringing over the cage with the radiant light?
How far away is it from me?
It's about 15 feet.
And am I able to move it?
Yeah, you're able to move it.
Okay, then yes, I will move it over to the dragon.
And as you do that, its mouth and eyes light up with that golden radiance. And you see as all three of these dragons light up, colored sparks, one red, one bronze, one this beautiful pearlescent crystal, spring up from each of the dragon's nose before zooming together into the center of the statue and then soaring into the clouds that form the quote-unquote wall of this room, forming another tunnel and another pathway through the storm.
We did it!
Oh, awesome!
Ugh, my hair still... Quincy pulls it back and tightens his ponytail. Ah!
You look great, Quincy.
I feel like
good luck.
I feel like I'm gonna shock something.
At least you're not sticky.
That's true. That's true.
I fly back down to where everyone is, and I'll come over to Kalus and Kaldor. How are you doing, Kaldor?
Good? He seems good. I mean, we had fun when I threw him up.
Kaldor is wagging his little draconic tail.
You're so brave, Kaldor. So proud of you. Oh, look at you. You're an adventurer now.
Give him all the scritches. Give him all the scritches.
All right, 1 down, 2 to go, I suppose. Brethren.
All right.
Should we go? Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
And you pierce through the storm once again, and the clouds swirl around you before coalescing into the second trial. You find yourselves in a strangely extravagant room, though your periphery is hazy, like trying to look at the edges of a Polaroid picture. A gurgling stream of water runs the circumference of this chamber, weaving in between plush couches draped with cloth and tables laden with gilded and jeweled boxes. The musical rattle of bones fills the space, and you see lumbering in front of you an animated draconic skeleton, lilac flame filling its rib cage. Once again, you hear the draconic echoes speak.
Bones to dust, souls torn apart. Soothe this dragon's searing heart.
So the lilac flames
are very
we have
pretty.
to soothe them. They are very pretty. But we have to soothe them.
Death is soothing.
No, why do you always want to do that? Try the friendship route first.
And if it doesn't work, can I kill it?
We'll see.
Okay, I'll let you try.
Stella, what do you think?
I mean, if they're sad and we have to soothe them, I'd like to figure out what's going on and see if we can help.
Maybe they just want a friend.
Exactly.
Looking around the room, first of all, it's a dragon skeleton, right?
Yes.
That's on fire, the lilac flames?
It is an animated dragon skeleton, and in its rib cage, where its heart would be, is this burning lilac flame.
Oh, animated. Okay.
Yes.
Is it by animated? Is it like dancing or like what is it doing?
Oh, it's just kind of walking around. It doesn't look like it's noticed you all yet. Kalus, what were you going to do? I saw your hand up.
Yeah. I wanted to ask where it was the fire was coming from, but you said it.
Yes. It's basically like where its heart would be is this burning kind of orb of lilac flame.
The pearl-covered boxes? Was that?
There are boxes all around the room. Some of them are gilded. Some of them have different kinds of jewels studded into their lids.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Are any of them glowing with that bioluminescence? So it sort of looks to me like a glow tide. If that is active on any of them.
Okay, roll me a perception check. Because there are quite a few of them. Quite a few boxes, so trying to ping where something might be coming from may be a little tricky.
26.
So in terms of the same type of bioluminescence that comes from this dragon's heart, you don't see. However, with that high of a roll, you do notice other flecks of that same kind of lilac color elsewhere in the room. You don't know exactly what they're on yet, but you do catch that in your periphery.
I'm gonna go start investigating those things because they're so shiny. There's so many things
There
here.
are so many shiny things in this room.
Should we start looking in the boxes? Do you think that would help?
I'd like to as well look in the boxes. I'm wondering if this dragon skeleton will see us or sense us and not like us being here. Okay. So we should stealth.
Okay. Juni, Bergamot, and Stella, as you're kind of going to go around the room and look at these boxes, please roll me a stealth check. I see a 20. With that, you are all very much able to avoid the dragon's attention as you kind of move around the room and start investigating these. While that is happening, Quincy and Kalus, what are you doing?
Well, I'm just watching the dragon the entire time. I just want to be ready. If anything happens, I can respond immediately to it and have a reaction or whatever I need.
Similar.
Okay.
How is the dragon, like, what is the dragon's mood? Or, like, is it just kind of walking in circles, kind of like in a daze type of thing?
Roll me an insight check.
The whole 7.
It's a dragon.
That do be.
Should I go ahead and roll that as well?
Yes, go for it.
Of course.
Well,
another 7.
I think Quincy would very much be like, so his friends kind of went off into the side to do some scouting. I'll sign to Kalus that I want to get a closer look at the dragon. I don't sense any harm from it if it's just kind of like there. So with the winged boots, I will fly up to the dragon and kind of like see if it notices, because it's animated, so it's mechanical, so I'm very intrigued by it. So I kind of like will get up to it and get in its personal space, honestly, and to check and see what this thing is about.
Are you trying to be sneaky about getting into its face, or are you just
absolutely not.
Okay, cool. You go up to its face, and as you get close, there is almost this metallic kind of tinge and scent that pierces through your nose as you get up close to this dragon, and it immediately, as soon as you get close to its face, its entire skeleton rattles as it snaps its head to look directly at you. I missed my tray. Does a 19 hit?
Yes.
Cool. Because this boy's gonna try and bite you.
Oh boy.
Cool. That is.
You wanted a dragon tooth.
You wanted a dragon tooth. That is gonna be boopity boopity boo. That is going to be 2 fire damage plus 17 piercing damage.
Holy butt.
However, roll me a history check.
Okay.
Or Arcana. History or Arcana.
Okay, so that was history. I think they're both the same thing. Okay, 12.
12. Okay.
I've been impaled.
This dragon looks at you and you got close to its face, and all of a sudden it growls and snaps at you, and you try and dodge out of the way, but it gets you very solidly. And as you are kind of held there by the dragon, possibly contemplating your life choices up until this moment, you do kind of get that, again, metallic smell coming from this dragon. And though you can't quite recall what specific kind of metal causes this color of flame, you do know that this color of flame, while sometimes magical, when paired with this metallic scent, is definitely from a specific type of metal burning at its core. Okay. Which means that there are very specific ways of extinguishing it.
So while this jaw is clamped around my body, wait. We're here to help. Help.
Bergamot, I imagine Bergamot flew past the dragon and has been hovering over the boxes, hears this commotion and turns and says, "Oh dear, okay, we need to calm that dragon down right now."
Yes.
Any ideas? What should we be looking for in these boxes?
Kalus, you were essentially standing at attention waiting for something to happen. Something has happened. What you doing?
I want to cast Ray of Frost.
Okay.
At the body of the dragon.
Cool. Roll me an attack roll.
It's a 19. Will that hit?
19 will hit. Roll me that damage.
Ooh. 13 of frost damage.
Ooh, okay. What does it look like when you cast Ray of Frost?
When I cast, what happens? My fingers become very dark, almost like frostbitten. And so it becomes very dark, and then when it comes out, it's really like a brilliant white, almost like you're looking at a star.
Excellent.
And it shoots out just directly. There's no zigzag, there's nothing like that. It's just straight on a line. And when it hits, it spreads like ice. Mm-hmm. Like ice across a smooth surface. Ooh. Like snowflakes, that crystal pattern.
And as those brilliant white crystals spread across the skeleton, the ribs and the spine of this animated skeleton, you see bits of the bone almost turn brittle and start breaking off in chunks. However, you, Quincy, as you are still in this dragon's mouth, you see some of this ice as it forms, encrusting the spine and the ribs. Some of it starts to melt and drip into the flame core at the center, and the flame sputters angrily. Please make me a Constitution saving throw.
12.
12. A solid 12.
Oh.
Cool. You are also poisoned now for 1 minute.
I don't know if that'll help.
And I will say, with your earlier roll, you also very painfully remember at this moment, when water touches certain metal fires, it can, instead of going out, cause poisonous gas.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Stop.
Okay. All right.
It still did damage to the dragon, so no worries. Y'all did still affect it. It's just a fun side effect of whenever you put water and or cold damage on this creature.
Fun.
While this is happening, Bergamot, you look over and you see this. you see not only Quincy get chomped by this dragon, but you see the ray of frost streak out, and while some of the skeleton does crumble away, you also see the flame flare with that contact with water. You can also inform Juni and Stella, who are busy looking through all the boxes, of what you've seen. What are you three doing?
Well, yeah, I will say, oh my goodness, it got worse with the water and cold. Does anyone know how to put out purple flame?
Is that anything that, that I remember from engineering?
Both of you, since both of you are engineers and tinkerers, you can roll me either a history or an arcana check.
Can I do arcana just to
And you can do arcana as well.
Okay. I'm not sure if she would know.
14.
No, she doesn't know.
14.
Okay. Bergamot, you have no clue. This is weird. But Juni and Stella, you recognize this as lithium flame.
Mm-hmm.
You need to suffocate it. You need to basically put powder on it or otherwise snuff it out. Both of you, so I can have either both of you roll this, since both of you have been looking through the boxes. Either one of you rolls with advantage or both of you roll an investigation check to look through these boxes.
How do you feel about investigating, Juni?
I don't feel super great about it.
Do you want me to do it? Okay.
All right, Stella, roll me an investigation check with advantage.
It's a dirty 20.
It's a dirty 20. With a dirty 20, you do find a gilded box that is studded with purple stones that are the exact same color as the flame. You easily open it up, and it is full of this dull kind of powder, entirely filling the box is this dull powder.
Stella, you found it?
Yeah. Do you want to run it over to them?
Yeah. So I grab it from
Stella. And
Stella.
I hand Juni the box.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I turn to everyone else and I sign, "Help's on the way."
Help's on the way. Okay. As you run over, gonna do a quick check-in. Quincy, how you doing? How you doing in that maw?
Not doing great. Put it out. Put it out. Put it out.
Would you like to do anything before while Juni is running over with the box?
Can I try to, while I'm in it, I want to take my gauntlet, my artillerist blast, and I want to try to shoot off the jaw or part of the tooth, the mouth that's grappled onto me, trying to get out.
Roll me an attack roll.
Yes. Plus 8, that is the 13.
I'll say you're right up next to it. Roll me with advantage because you're basically jamming your fist into the jaw to try and hit it.
Please.
Can I do
plus 8 is 9 plus 8, 16.
Can I do Fortune of from the Many?
Yeah, you can totally do that and give them a bonus.
Yeah, is that okay?
Yes, the friendship is magic comes into play.
Quincy, I'm trying to help.
Your telepathy kind of just moves it over.
Yes, Juni, as you are running over saying, I'm coming!
There
is
Hold
a
on.
burst of that telepathic energy, or the telekinetic energy, and Quincy, you feel that slight tug on your cannon arm as it pulls it just up against the dragon's jaw and blasts it, and you fall to the ground. With the jaw and the bones and the teeth just clattering around you. As Juni, you run up and throw this box of powder onto the dragon, and the lilac flame is snuffed out, and the dragon sort of clatters and rattles as it falls to the ground.
Quincy, you good?
That was awesome. Oh my gosh, Quincy.
Oh. Does anyone know how to heal?
Help.
I do. Well, how much help do you need there?
I'm about half as good as I once was.
Okay, I'm going to cast Heal Wounds. at the second level.
Oh, bless you.
That's cure wound. Yeah, cure wounds. There we go. That's 15 points of healing to you, Quincy.
I'll look down. Is there anything still impaled in my body?
Definitely. It's a skeleton. There are definitely bits and chunks of the teeth kind of still lodged in your armor and in your, definitely, kind of caught on the fabric of your bag.
Oh, great. I want to pull a tooth that's, kind of lodged in my side, and it's a large one, that's mine.
Maybe should keep that in there to stop the blood from coming out.
Yo,
I did just cure you some.
I was gonna say, and as you say that, Kalus's magic takes effect, and then the wound knits together, and we are all good. No one bleeding out in my campaigns.
Oh, thank you, Kalus.
I have a defibrillator just in case, though.
No, you do? Where?
It's part of my prosthesis.
Nice.
Cool.
But as you kind
out of everything.
Really did.
As you recollect yourselves and gather whatever dragon skeleton bits you may or may not wish to keep from this endeavor, a little tiny purple ember jumps from the skeleton and flies out into the clouds surrounding this room, and again another hole burns into the clouds, forming a path back through the storm.
I don't know if I'm ready.
You all want to take a quick rest? I can make it even quicker, just so everyone can just take a breather, and then
we have time.
We can get going again.
Wouldn't mind a quick rest.
How quick we talking?
Couple of minutes?
Yeah, okay. That's fine. Let me sit down.
So, I can use catnap for 3 people.
Okay.
To speed up a short rest. If anyone doesn't need a rest, let me know.
Well, I don't think I need it.
I'm only down a little bit of hit points, so I don't need it. If someone else has a greater need than I do.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm only down a little bit, so I think I'm fine.
And Quincy, with the catnap, will probably collapse with the poison still kind of affecting his brain and just kind of fall over, and definitely take that catnap if it's all right.
So Quincy and I can do 2 more. I'm down a little bit.
I'm down 6 points out
Same.
of 56.
I'm only
okay,
down 3.
Kalus?
Yeah, I'm only down 7, so I'm fine.
It's hard to say because 6 or 7 points could make a big difference later. So maybe we should.
Why don't you all take that rest then?
Okay.
I'll
but I can
sit
also
and
heal
take
myself.
watch.
I can heal myself later if I need to.
Yeah. Okay. I will take the catnap then.
Okay, so me, Quincy, and Bergamot?
Yep. You, Quincy, and Bergamot take a wonderful catnap. Is there anything particular that happens when you cast catnap, Stella?
It's just the way that the idea behind it is that sharks they never stop swimming.
Oh.
And so this helps keep us moving quickly.
That's so clever, and I'm so pleased. Okay. Quincy, everyone else kind of keeps moving. Quincy, you completely keel over for your catnap. And it is quite literally, if people are watching, a couple of seconds before Quincy literally comes back up and is well rested and feeling great. You feel like you got a good solid hour's nap.
All right, let's go. Next one. Thanks.
Quincy, you look like you're starting to feel better.
Oh, I feel great. Yeah, thank you.
You are no longer poisoned.
Color's coming back.
Can I kill the next dragon?
Still a maybe.
That's not a no. Not a no.
But as you 5 move through the storm, you find yourself in the outermost layer of the storm. And here you can see even the clouds that have been forming these different chambers, these different trials. The edge of this room feels more shredded, thinner, as if you are at the very edge of the storm. The clouds around you coalesce into what appears to be an underground cavern, spires of iridescent crystal jutting from rough stone ground and walls. The floor rattles and crunches with piles of coins and gemstones. At the far end of the room is a towering tapestry depicting a platinum dragon winding around a 5-headed multicolored dragon. Once more, the shimmering words and the sounds of the draconic echoes resonate through the room.
Creation untold, wealth beyond measure. Return to these parents their sole greatest treasure. Sounds like some sort of metaphor, you know? Riddles. Dragons love riddles.
It's a very snarky dragon. I like them.
So,
Okay.
they said parents and their greatest treasure?
Return to these parents their greatest treasure.
Sleep?
Right.
My first thought is it's eggs, right? Those are children. Their parents, what's going to be their greatest treasure is probably the eggs.
Yes.
So we have smart.
Do we see
eggs? Oh, we got the history lesson about the 2 dragons, about Bahamut and Tiamat. Hang on, let me just think about it. I tried to pay attention.
I was going to say, everyone please roll me a history check. Kalis, you can roll this with advantage because it is once again about dragons.
Bergamot was not listening.
I was not listening. 3.
16.
I was distracted with thoughts of popcorn.
Oh, shiny stuff.
I got an 18.
Yes. So, Quincy and Kalis, you recall the story of Bahamut and Tiamat, whether this is from the lesson you got before the vortex appeared and consumed you all, or from other studies elsewhere. Bahamut and Tiamat are represented by a platinum dragon and a 5-headed dragon with heads of all different chromatic colors. They together made the first world, and one of their very first creations was their child Sardior, a ruby dragon.
So, from what I remember, is that their first child, so to speak, was a ruby dragon, so maybe we have to look for rubies somewhere in this room.
Do we see
It's a
rubies?
good idea. I'll start looking for rubies.
All right, everyone roll me a perception check.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh heck. 10.
8.
8 as
13.
Stella and Kalis, as you're kind of looking around, the rest of you, there's a lot of shiny things in this room. There are piles of gemstones and gold and other glittery things. And those are kind of overwhelming. But Kalis and Stella, as you are surveying this room, you see a ruby glint of light in the corner. And as you kind of follow it with your sight, you see this tiny spectral apparition, maybe about the size of a hand. Ruby light, almost faceted in its nature, of a tiny little dragonling peek out from one of the piles of coin.
Okay, so I walk over closer to try to get a better look and maybe try to pick it up. Very carefully.
As you get close to it, it definitely looks at you and then almost gets wide-eyed and hunches its shoulders and scuttles a little bit back into the pile it was hiding into.
I get down on my knees and I take my Drake off my shoulder, Calder off my shoulder, and see if he can go and make friends and maybe persuade it to come out.
Okay. Roll me a persuasion check with advantage. Ooh.
22.
So you set Calder down, and Calder does the thing that a lot of bigger dogs do when they see a puppy. That combination of, oh, new friend, plus, baby, I must protect.
Oh.
And it gets down, and he wags his tail again and puts his hind legs up again and sticks his tongue out and almost nudges a round-shaped gem toward the little spectral ruby dragonling. And slowly, tentatively, this small ruby dragonling will climb out of the pile and nudge the round gemstone back at Calder. And eventually they kind of fall into a rhythm and start kind of playing, and they start bopping the gem between each other. At one point, the little ruby dragonling dives into a pile of coins like it is a pile of leaves and pops its head out and sprays a couple of coins at Calder, and Calder will immediately also splash some coins back. All of you can kind of see this now as it is making a little bit of a ruckus in this room, and you can turn and see Kalus's small silver dragon or drake companion rustling around in the coins, playing with this small spectral ruby dragonling.
Is that the ruby, or are they holding the ruby?
I think that is the dragon. I think that's what we have to bring back. And Kalus, do you think? And I float my my mobile mollusk over. Do you think you could get Caldor to get them onto this, and we can bring them over?
Yeah, probably. So I tell Caldor, hey, come here, bring him over here, and I tell him what to do.
With that high of a persuasion roll, it is no other check is needed. Caldor jumps onto the little mobile mollusk, and the tiny ruby red dragonling follows suit, even as Caldor sits very proudly and straight in the I am a good boy pose. And the little ruby dragonling goes and sits on Caldor's head and also mimics the I'm doing good, Mom pose.
Kalus, you have such a good little friend.
And I'll float the shell over toward the tapestry.
Okay.
Very gentle.
Hope this works. I hope this works.
Okay.
Me too.
You float over this tapestry, and as it gets closer, the little ruby red dragonling begins to grow with light. And you see it grow bigger, soon about the same size as Caldor, and it's now no longer sitting on Caldor's head, but sitting beside Caldor. And then it grows even larger and larger as it kind of approaches this tapestry. And it sort of stands up, and it places its forehead to Caldor's, and you see a little bit of that ruby light sort of spark off, and you see it sort of almost blush on Caldor's nose and spines as a mark of friendship. And then the dragon itself soars up and soars through the tapestry, and as it does, its wings take the tapestry with it, and it carves one last hole, one last opening through the storm, and you can see distantly light shimmering as if you are looking up through water, the outside of the storm.
Do we have a snack or something for Caldor? Because that was amazing. Kalus, you have a great friend.
Of course.
Quincy will turn up, activate his winged boots again, and then fly through that opening that the ruby dragon went. Because if it's the way through, I want to follow it.
Bergamot too, following.
Rio, wait up! Juni follows.
Right. I'm going to be dropping something in the chat. For your reference, Kalus, Caldor now has the function of a ruby weave gem.
Oh.
I'm posting what that is in chat. I don't know if you'll have the time to use it in this one shot, but as the blessing of befriending the small little ruby dragonling, you have received this dragon boon. But yes, is there anything else anyone would like to look at, or are you all following the ruby dragon out of the storm?
I kind of want to look one more box, maybe.
Okay. Juni, roll me an investigation check.
7.
I will say you are kind of looking around, and as everyone kind of passes through the storm, you get one bottle. You find one crystal bottle that is filled with sloshing red liquid. You don't know what it is, but it seems pretty neat, so you can take that with you.
I think I'm going to take this with me. Guys, coming.
And you burst out through the storm, and all of you exit the storm, and you feel once again that white noise of the storm. It both kind of dies and also amplifies 1,000%. It was muffled and sort of a thing you had gotten used to while navigating through the storm's layers and the different echoes, the different draconic echoes' challenges. But now, as you kind of step out of the storm, you find yourself back in the observatory, except it doesn't look like it anymore. The observatory is now in ruins. You see in the distance what was once the observatory's beautiful glass dome is shattered. The marble walls are all crumbling and falling into the sea below. Above you, you hear not a storm of echoes, but a rainstorm, a bursting, overflowing thunderstorm of dark clouds churning above you with lightning ribboning between the clouds. You hear roars echo from above, and you see the silhouette of that blue dragon with its prosthetic legs soar through the clouds, chasing after what looks very much like a draconic echo, like the ones you had encountered in the storm. Those ghostly, almost translucent apparitions of dragons in various shades and colors, swirling and almost trying to dodge the blue dragon as it soars through the clouds. You also see crashing through the observatory walls with a loud roar, a bronze dragon with different scrapes and burns across her glittering scales. The dragon sort of looks over at you and takes a deep breath and goes, "Oh, you all are good. I thought you had been swallowed by the storm. Are you okay?"
Who are you?
I will explain later. There's bigger problems, and will look up and growl as the silhouette of Eldenamir soars again and quite literally inhales and swallows one of these echoes.
Is this the part where we're supposed to save the world?
That
sounds like fun.
Could be fun.
All right. Into fire.
And as you kind of ask that, you see two of these echoes soar through the clouds, and these ones, unlike the other ones you've seen, their eyes glow with that brilliant cerulean light, that same light that glints off Eldanamir's scales. One is golden, topaz, amberish in color, and it lands on one of the ruins of stone wall. The other is sleek and serpentine with emerald trails of light wisping off its form, and it crunches down among the rubble and knocks over that celestial sculpture and sort of hisses at you. The bronze dragon sort of looks at you and says, "I will try and stave him off in the sky. Take out his echoes. Good luck," and launches off as you see these two echoes sort of prowl towards you, that lightning blue light crackling in its eyes as they growl and snarl. Everyone, please roll me initiative. Juni, what did you roll?
25.
Stella, what did you get?
21.
Okay, so Juni, you are up first.
That's why I said, oh no.
With Stella afterwards. And then who got 15? Anyone got 15 through 19?
Yes, I got 15.
Okay, Bergamot, you are after Stella. And then who got 10 through 15? Did anyone get that? Cool. 5 through 10?
7.
Okay. And then, Kaelus, you said you got a 3?
I rolled a nat 1. Total of 3.
Okay, so Kaelus, you are last.
Obviously, I'm distracted with my new Drake and their new abilities, trying to figure out what's going on.
They have this beautiful ruby tint to their silver scales now. It's like the metal almost seamlessly transitions to this beautiful scarlet ruby color. It's very pretty. I get why you're distracted. It's gorgeous. But yes, Kaelus, you are at the end. But all right. Juni, you are up first. You are at the center of the courtyard. The Topaz Echo is on the west side. The Emerald Echo is on the east side. Both are about 30 feet away from you all.
So I'm hoping to use my luminous blade.
Yes.
Which I'll take off my metallic prosthesis and use my psi power prosthesis.
You can go up to the dragon and make your 2 attacks with your luminous blade, but please describe to me what it looks like as you put on this new prosthetic and activate your blade.
So as I take off my other prosthetic, this one comes out of me. It emits from my body, where it's this bright blade that emits light for 15 feet of this luminous, swirly purple light. Guys, do we know which one would react better to my psi power or no?
They'll both react just fine.
Okay, I'm gonna go for the emerald one.
Cool. And you can strike it with your blade. Please roll me your attack rolls.
19.
That first one will hit. So you can click and roll damage. There you go.
13.
Woohoo! So you can make a second attack as your radiant energy from your blade slices through this emerald shadow. You can make a second attack.
27!
That one definitely hits. Roll me damage again.
15.
Ooh, that's so much damage!
Nice.
So Juni, you run up to this emerald shadow, your luminous blade arcing with that purple light, and you slice through this creature, and your blade, as it slices through the specter, it leaves that rend in space. You can see very clearly the dark clouds, and the echo itself, that rend kind of stays there, almost like you're breaking it into fragments of glass, almost like a mosaic, but it stays there and it snarls at you. Would you like to use any of your bonus actions on this turn?
Yes, I think I want to do second wind. Is that a bad time to do that?
No, this is a totally good time to do it. Go for it.
Okay.
So regain some hit points.
5 plus 8.
You can regain 13 hit points.
Thank you, Matt.
With that, Stella, you are up with Bergamot on deck.
I would like to activate my blade song.
Okay.
So you see Stella twist that cane, and out of the cane comes what looks similar to the spikes you've seen on the tail of these dragons, and with that mother of pearl handle. And I take the cane part, the sheath of it, and put that on my back. And I suddenly am moving like I am floating through water. I'm going to go in and I am going to use my mantis shrimp punch, which is my booming blade. So in the same way that a mantis shrimp attacks, and there are 2 impacts to that, the sword will cut, and then there is a secondary effect where it creates a vacuum that kind of holds the creature in place with additional damage.
Okay. Make me that attack roll.
And because I am going for the same one as Juni, I am going to try and get my sneak attack off as well.
Yes, we love a good sneak attack.
It's a 15 to hit.
15 will just miss.
Anything I can do to bump that up?
Can I?
Do I have advantage from Juni being
I was gonna say, can I use hospitality for
I was
that?
gonna say you can use hospitality for that, Juni, and give a bonus to the roll, which will your bonus will easily push it into a hit.
Snow's my friend, and I want to help.
Thanks.
Stella.
You created an opening for me, and my sword just, which almost glows with radiant light as well, it's cut straight through. So.
All right.
Do
roll me that damage.
28 plus 5
roll me
plus
that sneak attack.
Sneak attack plus I get an extra d8 from the booming blade plus I get a d8 from my sword blade.
You ever just want to terrify a DM? Just watch all the damage rolls pile up in the game chat, and just the DM goes, "Oh no."
26 points of damage.
Good, lovely dragons. Okay.
And it is wreathed in that thunderous force. It took some impact from it, but if it decides to try and move away from us, it's going to hurt.
You slice through this thing, and again you leave that slice through the air, and it looks more and more like a mosaic of pieces being knit together. Anything else you would like to do on your turn?
Nope, that is all.
All right, Bergamot, you are up with Quincy on deck.
Okay, Bergamot, I proudly see my two new friends just freaking battling this emerald dragon echo, just like badass boss ladies or boss people. And I think Bergamot is going to notch an arrow on her lute bow. This is the first time you all are seeing her pull out this arrow bow that is also a lyre. Sorry, not a lute, a lyre. And she's going to say, I'm going to buy us some time to finish off the one you've been working on. And she'll aim it at the topaz echo.
Okay.
So she's going to fire an arrow at it, and if it hits, she will try to do something with that.
Excellent.
That's a 13.
A 13 unfortunately will not hit. A 13 will soar above.
I would like to use my action surge.
Okay.
And try this again.
Go for it.
Okay. Come on. It has to be better. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, actually, sorry. Can I, before I take my second hit, I'd like to say to the topaz dragon, under my breath though, just say, all right, I'm gonna need you to just take a little break from where we are. And I'm just using my unsettling words on it as a bonus action. So I will do the D6. Please be high, please be high. 3. Okay, so it'll take a 3 off of its next saving throw.
Okay.
And now I'll try that second hit with my longbow. Much better. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20 will hit.
Okay, so now I'd like to turn this into an arcane shot. And I'd like to make it a banishing arrow. And now it'll have to roll a charisma saving throw DC 11. Minus 3 on whatever it rolls.
So charisma saving throw minus 3. Okay.
DC is 11.
Okay. So that is a 9.
Yes! Okay. I banish you to the Feywild, deep in the depths of the magical forest where no one can touch you and you cannot be touched. For 1 round.
What does it look like when you banish, when your banishing arrow hits?
Yes, so when Bergamot utters these words, still holding her bow and arrow, you see this magical kind of bronzy, brassy green energy just spiral out from her, flutter away from her towards this topaz dragon, and it wraps around the dragon echo, and then poof, just like it all shoots away, and the topaz dragon echo is gone from that space.
And that it bursts and flutters like shards of light and glass, and above you, you hear an angry, angry roar that shakes the earth beneath you. And Abanamir is going to take a legendary action from above.
Oh, crap. Well, I think the professor is angry.
And I will say, this will only attack the folks who aren't around the Emerald Dragon. So this will be Kalus, Quincy, and Bergamot. Please make me a dexterity saving throw as that raging scream shakes the very islands that this observatory is barely standing on.
Oh, crap.
9.
7.
15.
Whew. Okie doke. Unfortunately, even that 15 will not save.
Oh, no.
So everyone, thankfully I rolled very badly. Everyone is going to take 14 points of bludgeoning damage as the island itself shakes and breaks beneath you.
I'm glad we rested.
Yeah.
With that, Quincy, it's your turn with the dragons on deck.
Absolutely. All right. So, what was the name of the dragon above us again?
Aldenamir.
Aldenamir. How far away are they?
Very far, like
Very.
a good 300 or so.
300. All right, no worries. It's okay. And Bergamot, just like in my mind, just like poofed one of these out of existence in like a single shot.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. And so the last one remaining is the Emerald Echo?
There is the Emerald Echo.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and you'll see Quincy pull out from his belt very dramatically a spoon. It's a very, very special wooden spoon. It is his arcane focus. He will open up his hip bag that he's named Waffles because of all the pockets, and will dig into one of those pockets in particular for a spoonful of mica. And he will toss it up in the air and slash it, causing shatter to happen at that Emerald Echo.
Ooh, all right.
I would like a con save of 16,
A con
please.
save of 16. Okie doke.
Are we caught in that shatter?
I would have made it so it just hits the dragon.
Yeah. This is a big enough echo where you can essentially position it at the butt, and it'll shatter on the butt and not hit Juni or Stella.
Yeah. We shattered the butt.
Shatter the butt.
Shatter the butt.
This is a Constitution that is going to be a 17.
Okay, so it's saved, so it'll take half, I believe. So because it's through my arcane focus, it will get an extra D8 as a level in this level in Artificer. So you will take, that's 14 total, so 7 thunder.
7 thunder damage. Okay.
And bonus action, I will fire an artillerist bolt from my Eldritch Cannon as a bonus action.
Okay, roll me to hit.
And that will be 9 plus 8. 16?
I think a 9
17.
plus 8 is 17,
17.
and that will just hit.
Alrighty. That is 2d8. 2d8 force damage, and it is pushed back 5 feet. 11 points of force damage.
11 points of force damage.
Nice one, Quincy!
Ah!
And you buffet it with this force damage as it sort of pulls back its nails, spectral as they are, scrabble and scrape on the stone, and there is that piercing kind of sound as it digs in. It is now the dragon's turn. One of you banished one of my dragons, so it can't do anything this turn. But the emerald one still can, as it sort of squats down and it looks at, and it sort of adjusts itself. This is going to catch, this is only going to catch Stella and Juni in this cone as it lowers its head and lets out a hissing, gurgling trill of a sound as it releases a cone of almost purple, like sonic breath. Please make me an intelligence saving throw.
3.
17. Okay, a 17 will save, but a 3 will not, sadly. So, Juni, this pierces through your ears to the point where it itches at your mind and claws like at the base of your spine, or the base of your neck where it meets your spine. You are going to take 10, 20 psychic damage. And Stella, you're going to take half. Additionally, Juni, the next time you make an attack roll you will have to subtract a d6. That is all the dragon is going to do on its turn because it's right where it wants to be. It'll probably move up a little closer to y'all, but that's it. With that, though...
Moving more than 5 feet?
It got pushed, but it got pushed about 10 feet, and then it'll move back up towards you.
Oh, then it's going to take some damage from my booming blade.
Is booming blade unwilling movement?
No, willing movement. So if it's moving back up?
Oh, yes. It'll take its thunder damage. Please roll the booming blade damage.
14.
Ooh, spicy.
There's a sudden... There was sort of a bubble around it, and that bubble inverts, and it implodes with a massive amount of force.
Up next is Kalus. What you doing?
So, I just want to review and make sure I know the setup, because I'm a little bit lost right now.
So, right now, there is the Emerald Echo. The Emerald Echo is on the east side of this platform. The Topaz Echo is on the west side. The Topaz Echo has been banished and is not in play at the moment. The Emerald Echo got pushed back, breath weaponed Stella and Juni, and then moved back up within 5 feet of Stella and Juni. So the Emerald Echo is about 30 feet away from you.
I want to use Thunderstep, but is the radius 90 feet?
No. 90 feet is how far you can teleport with the Thunderstep. The radius of the effect of the Thunderstep, I think, is 10 feet.
Okay. But I can be standing in a place where it's not going to hit my 2 pals.
Yes.
Okay, so first, I'm going to run over and do Thunderclap.
Okay.
Within 5 feet. And then, I'm going to use...
Quicken Spell.
So that I can cast Thunderstep and then move away.
That's awesome. Okay.
For Thunderclap, it's a Constitution 14.
Constitution 14. All right. That is a 17.
Okay. So nothing happens.
Okay. But still, describe what it looks like as you cast Thunderclap, since we haven't seen you cast it yet.
So I clap my hands in the direction of the target, and it's dark light that radiates out. And it also has like little glimmers, like stars within it. Almost like a void is opening up. But there's also this loud clap of thunder.
Okay.
And it all sort of flies out away, and people hear it, coming from me. It's very loud.
And then you do your thunder step, and as you kind of step away and teleport, and again that thunder crack echoes out. What do I have to do for that?
So for Thunderstep, it's also a Constitution 14.
Okay. That is, again, a 17. This dragon is nothing if not consistent, but I think Thunderstep does let you take half on a success.
Yes, it's going to be half damage.
All right, roll me that damage.
So that's 3d10?
Oh.
27 for thunder damage.
All right.
So this time when I do the clap again, but this time when I clap, it's fast. I very quickly, my whole body turns dark, and my clothes are gone, and I'm just dark and stars, and I collapse down into a singularity, basically, and appear 90 feet away. And when I appear, it's the opposite. It's the little black singularity point comes, explodes in stars, and then I'm there in my corporeal form.
Oh, that's so good! Oh my god, that's so amazing! And as the singularity bursts, or as you collapse, and Stella and Juni, you can watch as Kalis runs forward with that thundering echo, and then their form shrinks down into that crushing singularity. You see wisps of this green dragon, those shards that you had made, as it looks like a mosaic of shattered glass. Bits of pieces begin getting sucked into that singularity, tearing this thing to pieces until only the tiniest sliver of emerald light remains as Kalis, and even then, that singularity, it snaps, and that final emerald light is extinguished as Kalis, you eliminate this echo. Y'all still have one left. It's just banished and angry. But y'all can get ready for it to reappear.
What is the blue dragon doing above?
The blue dragon is currently, as you look above, you see the blue dragon tearing through the skies, and it is battling with that bronze dragon who asked you to help.
Ah, right. Okay. Okay.
So, Juni and Stella, it is your turn. On Bergamot's turn, the Topaz Echo will return.
I think I'm just gonna stick with doing my luminous blade, getting ready, prepping up my luminous blade for all my prosthesis, my psi prosthesis for when this dragon appears, and standing at the ready. Would I also do the other one or no?
It would only be the because you're prepping an action. It would only just be the attack.
Okay.
Stella, what do you want to do?
The first thing I'm going to do is send Pelly over to do the help action.
Okay.
And I am going to ready the same sequence of actions as the last time.
Okay.
Except I have a bonus action now to play with. I'm gonna also throw a disengage in there as my action, my bonus action after the attack. So I'm gonna booming blade it into place with my beautiful crystal blade, and Pelly will give me advantage on that from the help action, which allows me to use elven accuracy on top of my sneak attack and everything else, and then I will disengage so it can't do much to me. And if there is a good place to sort of move myself to some sort of cover nearby, some rubble or something, I will go there with my move.
Okay, sounds good.
Is it too late to change what I wanted to do?
No, you can go change what you wanted to do.
I think I might want to use spite, right? Someone affirm me.
Yes.
Team.
Yes. So who are you
helping?
If I
spite Jen and Stella, my friend Stella. We've been in battles together before, and I can always count on Stella.
Good to know. With that, before
I'm still very close though to this.
Yes.
So
when it will reappear, a lot of things will happen. Bergamot, does the dragon appear at the start of your turn or the end of your turn?
Question. Let me check.
Okie doke.
All right. So, Banishing Arrow says at the end of its next turn, the target reappears in the space it vacated or in the nearest.
Cool.
Yeah.
So it should have reappeared 2 turns ago, or a couple turns ago, but like it's fine. We'll play it as it appears at the start of your turn. No worries.
Okay.
No worries. We will have it do that thing. Before it reappears, though, the dragon in the sky is going to use another legendary action, and I am going to need Bergamot, Quincy, and Kalis to all make me a dexterity saving throw.
18.
Ooh, Kalis.
21.
And I want to use a reaction because I don't believe I've used a reaction yet to do Flash of Genius onto Bergamot and give you +5 to that saving throw.
Thank you.
Excellent. What is the total bring it to?
16.
Okay. Awesome. Let me do some rolling. A 16 will be enough to save, so what did you roll, Quincy, on your save?
18.
18. Okay, so all of you will save, so you will take half damage as I grab my lovely d8s.
Oh dear.
You mean singular D8, yes?
No, multiple d8s. Cool. So that would be 22 lightning damage, halved to 11. Halved again for you, Quincy, because of the lightning resistance. As the blue dragon comes down and strafes the platform, lightning breath cutting directly through the middle and striking you three. All three of you are able to dodge out of the way in time, but it does leave a nasty sting in us, the stench of ozone in the air. But as that happens, there is a loud pop, and the topaz dragon pops back into place where you had banished it, Bergamot, triggering both Juni's attack and Stella's attack. Roll me the hit.
14.
14, unfortunately, will not be enough to hit.
Second one? No.
Yeah. We'll say you can do a second one. Go for it.
Isn't it 2?
Yeah. I can't recall for like holding an action if it's 1 attack or 2 attacks, but I'm just gonna rule right now. It's 2 attacks. Go for it. 2 attacks. It's more fun that way. Oh. The dice really were determined. But Stella.
So it's a 25 to hit.
That'll definitely hit.
It is 30 points of damage.
Oh!
And also, Parallax, my blade, glows with magic, and I am going to use one of its charges to regain 4 hit points from the radiant damage that the sword dealt.
And did you add it in the spite, or is that not?
Spite is added as the topaz dragon will have disadvantage on its next attack.
Cool.
And then I duck out behind.
and then you go, no, goodbye. All right.
Something to lean against in between.
Yep.
Got to get your rests in when you can.
Just gonna squat and put my hands over my head.
Okay, but with that, Bergamot, you're up again.
Okay.
You got this.
Thank you. Bergamot has just rolled out of the way of that lightning and took some of that damage, and it's just like, that sizzled. She still has her bow and arrow in her hands, and she just like strums the lyre, the strings on the lyre, which are connected to the bow. And once again, she mutters, "You came back, but not for long." In almost a like sing-songy voice to the time of the strums, and she is going to cast once again, or not cast, but use her bardic inspiration for unsettling words.
Yes.
On this topaz dragon. So let me roll that d6. 4. So okay, so that's what they have for that, and then I am going to use my bow and arrow. That's what Bergamot does best.
Excellent.
Okay. So she's going for the hit. Ooh, 25.
25 will hit.
All right. Oh, rolled pretty low on that damage. 5.
Okay.
5 piercing damage.
That means it is Quincy's turn with the dragon on deck.
Sounds good. So seeing this dragon pop back into existence, like, I thought you killed it. What? Quincy's gonna go ahead and dig into his pockets once again and pull out 3 chilies, and he's gonna go ahead and launch them onto his arcane focus spoon and launch them all 3 at the dragon, casting Scorching Ray at the dragon. And it's 3 attacks, 1 for each. 21 on the first one.
That'll hit.
21 on the second one.
That'll hit.
10 on the third. So
that will not hit.
that's okay. So the first 2 first one does 9 fire.
Okay.
And then the second one we'll do, and we'll pump it. It'll do 6, but I'll pump it with a D8 as well through the arcane focus.
Awesome.
So 6 plus 2, so another 8. So a total
8.
of 17 fire damage.
Okay.
Bonus action, I will shoot it with our artillerist shot.
Okay.
15 plus 8, 23.
23 will hit.
So that's 2d8 force damage. And that'll be 5.
Excellent. Anything else you would like to do?
I would just like to kind of fly in kind of the air with my winged boots, just off the ground, away from where electricity is conduit, but kind of ready and prepped. But that's where I'm at.
Okay, cool. So now it is the Topaz Dragon's turn as it looks around. It is going to turn to the person who banished it.
Ooh.
And it will snarl, and it will stalk closer to you, and it will make a bite attack. But it's at disadvantage because of spite.
Yes.
Cool. That is only a 15 to hit.
That hits.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
No, it does not, because I use my bioluminescent silvery barb anemone stingers to make things change. I distracted. It needs to roll again and use the lower roll. And also, Bergamot, go ahead and you will get advantage on your next attack roll ability check or saving throw within the next minute.
Okay. That is a 14 to hit.
Oh, yes. Does not hit.
All right. It almost hits, and then Stella, what do your anemone sting silvery barbs look like as it pushes this dragon out of the way?
So the goal is to distract it. So it's these bioluminescent tendrils that sort of come out and just get in its way, in its face, and distract it by doing the things that would distract Stella, which is lots of lights and sparkles and colors and movement.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And with its long tail, it is going to lash out at Quincy in the sky.
Bring it.
Ooh, that's bad. That's an 11.
Yep, that will miss. Well, no, stop.
All right. That is all it can do. Kalus, you are up with Juni on deck.
All right. Well, I think I will do the same order as before.
Okay.
Thunderclap and then Thunderstep once again. As real quick. It seemed to work well last time, so why not?
Heck yes. All right. Please. So I roll for both Thunderclap and Thunderstep, and I have to subtract 4 from this from unsettling words, correct?
Yes, it's on the next saving throw.
So this would be the next saving throw.
Yeah, before the start of my next turn. So yes, -4.
Cool. So that would have been an 18, but it's -4, so it's a 14.
Yeah. All right. So Thunderclap goes.
Okay. Roll me that damage.
All right. 2d6. So we get a 10.
Woo!
For the Thunderclap.
All right. Now I will roll again for Thunderstep. That one is a 21. So it will take half damage though on Thunderstep, as once again that singularity appears and rips into this echo.
Right, let's go. All right, 15.
15 halved. Kalus, is there anything else you would like to do on your turn?
I think that's all my full action, my full turn. So I did the Thunderclap. So I did the clap as my action, and then I did my step as my bonus because I used Quicken Spell again. So I just move out of the way.
The dragon above is going to make one last strafing run across the island. So this time, I think I am going to need, based on kind of where everyone is, this is going to be the line that catches, I think, Kalus, Stella, and Juni. I think Quincy and Bergamot have flown out of the way of this one. So please make me a dexterity saving throw, Stella, Kalus, and Juni. So Stella, you will save. Everyone else, unfortunately, will not save. That will be 23 points of lightning damage as another strafing round comes across.
Oh. Can I do silvery barbs now?
I didn't save,
yes.
Right?
You did not save. Only Stella saved. So Stella, you're going to take half of that.
And I'm not able to use a reaction.
I'm down.
Can I use silvery barbs? Because
yes, you can use silvery I think you can use silvery barbs to have someone reroll.
So I reroll and take the lower. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. I think what triggered it was just you saving. So
yeah.
What triggers me being able to do it. So yep, I can use it on someone else though.
So would you like to use it on Kalus or Juni? Because Kalus just went down.
Yeah, Kalus then.
Kalus, you can reroll.
Wait, am I able to do a reaction? I'm confused.
You can do a reaction.
Yeah, it's not any better.
Juni, what reaction did you want to do?
I have the protective field. Isn't that a reaction?
So, yes, you can reduce the damage taken by 1d8 plus 1. Do you want to reduce the damage you took, or do you want to reduce the damage Kalus took?
What are we saying about Kalus' damage? What does that mean?
So, what happened is silvery barbs went off, Kalus re-rolled. The roll was still a failure. However, Juni, you can use your psi power to reduce the damage taken by 1d8 plus 1 amount. And that may prevent Kalus from dropping to 0 hit points.
Okay, I will do that. I mean,
okay.
I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna be down to 10 hit points, but I can still do that.
So roll 1d8.
So, because I had 21 when I got hit, so I just need a little bit.
Yep.
To not go down.
D8.
Yeah, D8.
Six.
Kalus is still up.
Yeah.
Woo.
So wait, we lost 21. Was that what it was?
It was 23.
23
I
hit points.
had 21 when we started this. So
yeah, I'm down to 7.
That means now I'm at, what am I at?
Was it 1d8 plus a modifier?
Plus 1. So 7 points. You subtract 7 points from 23. So you only get down 16. So you should have 5 hit points left. Juni, please describe what it looks like as you project this psionic shield and shield Kalus.
I'm gonna project this psionic shield from my prosthesis that's gonna reach out and then cover you in this beautiful swirly purple shielded light, and then when the damage hits, you are blocked by it and it stops it, and a little bit goes through, right? But you're gonna be okay.
All right, you should be at 5 hit
Thank you,
points
I needed
now.
that.
With that, Juni, it is your turn. This echo is looking rough, and as the Denimir strafes from the sky, you can see that they are wounded and they are on their last legs as well. Juni, what are you going to do for your turn?
Stella, what do you think we should do? Should I go Luminous
Take
Blade
this
again?
one out, and then we can focus on the other one. Because that professor has it coming.
So to go Luminous Blade again?
Go for it.
All right. I'm gonna do Luminous Blade again.
All right.
You got this, Juni.
Tired, but I'm holding on.
25.
Okay, let's see what. So I roll. Okay, now I roll Luminous Blade for damage.
Mm-hmm. And Juni, as you strike at it one more time, and your luminous blade slices through this echo, would you like to describe to me how you kill it?
My luminous blade slices through with this 15-foot light, and it pierces it, and it just causes this almost swirly reaction, like those what is it? Do you know what I'm talking about? The things you shake that is glittery and
snow globes.
And it just shoots into almost glass pieces as I shatter through it.
And as you shatter through it, this faceted, semi-transparent echo burst, and all of you can see it burst with that same almost shattering look that had happened when the storm was first summoned. And you can see these ribbons of light streak off and pierce through not just from this echo, but through the clouds themselves, revealing patches and patches of sunlight. And almost in harmony, you can hear a roar from above as the bronze dragon swipes its jaw through the blue dragon, and it tumbles into the ocean below. And that bronze dragon lands on the now crumbled and ruined remains of the observatory and observes you all.
I sent Pelly to the ocean to let everyone in there know that dragon is trouble and to take care of it.
And as that happens and all of you take your breath and kind of recover and recuperate from that battle, the bronze dragon transforms into another familiar figure, one that you have not seen since the day prior, since you were sent on those missions now gone horribly awry. You see Ryland standing before you.
I suppose I owe you a bit of an explanation. My name is Runara, though you may have known me as Ryland. I cannot deny that I helped Eldenamir with his plan. I cannot even say that I did so unknowingly. He never lied to me or otherwise tricked me. I loved him. I trusted him. And that love led me to ignore the warning signs until the world broke for it. I am so sorry. As much as it would be nice, it's foolish to believe that we can just forget the damage of the past. Harm has been done. Mistakes still happen, and we ache with the hurt of it all. I cannot undo what has already left scars, but I can and will do everything in my power to carve a better path forward. I promise that. From this day forward, Stormwreck Isle will be a safe haven. I leave now to rebuild this island, and though I love the idea of you coming to join me, I understand that I have not earned your trust. I leave these gifts for you as thanks, but not thanks enough for all that you've done. Perhaps one day our paths will cross again.
Ryland, or Runara, pulls out that small little chest that they had carried with them and sets it down in front of you before polymorphing again into their full bronze dragon form and flying off, their silhouette painted against the sunset as it starts to dip below the churning waves of the sea. Inside that chest, you will find 100 platinum pieces to be divided amongst you all, and a set of 7 small golden canary figurines. And the sun sets on Stormwreck Isle. And I'd like to go around and very quickly see what each of your characters does as the sun sets and you'll go your separate ways on this island. Perhaps not a look into the future, but a look into tonight. Whether you are celebrating at the tavern, at this pier town, finally getting your chance to study the stars, or just relishing in another adventure well done. Would anyone like to start?
I can go. For now, Kalis is going to try to heal himself as much as possible, and then go find some location somewhere nearby to go do some stargazing. I'm going to just kind of be on my own and watch the stars for the night.
And you find this beautiful little outcropping. It was weird, you hadn't noticed how much the observatory and all its arcane glow and its lights had impacted your ability to see the stars. But as you kind of wander along the islands and find a bluff that you can sit on top of and gaze up at the stars, you notice now that you can see way more than what you had previously. There is a sadness to it, knowing the events that led to this clarity in the sky, but there is a beauty to it. And you can sit and watch as the myriad spheres of the astral plane and beyond spin around in the heavens above you. Who would like to go next?
I think what Quincy does is, after seeing everything, noticing Kalis walk away and be like, I think at the evening, I think I should be off. I think I've had enough dragons for one adventure for a little bit, but I will say I got what I came for, so there's that. But it was lovely to meet you all, and thank you for sticking your heads out for me and honestly saved me from some foolish choices that I might have made. And so Quincy will reach his hand out and shake hands with every individual, with Stella and Bergamot and Juni, who are still here. And what you'll see is, like, in your hand after the handshake is done, he leaves a sticker in there. And so, but what the sticker is actually healing, cure wounds. It's actually cure wounds. And it's kind of it's one of his spells that he's made, and he's kind of like, all of his touch spells he likes to slap on things, and it's a sticker. So he kind of leaves that and walks away, and then he'll walk up to Kalis and sign to Kalis his thanks of just the help, and just as strangers suddenly come together with this crazy adventure. Holds his hand out to Kalis to shake his hand, and also gives him one of those cure wounds healing stickers to kind of bolster up, and will sign and be like, that's for before. Thank you for that. And Quincy will activate his boots and probably fly off.
And as you fly off, you feel a little bit of a rustling in Waffles, your bag.
Yep. Oh, now what? And open it up.
And you see the tiny, tiny green smoke head of a fume drake look up at you and blow you yet another raspberry, as it has stowed away on the journey back to wherever you go next.
All right, you better hang on tight, because I have no idea where we're headed, all right? All right, and Quincy's off.
Who would like to go next?
Juni is so thankful to Quincy for the healing spell, and is so excited to have gotten to interact with this group of people and made friends. Friends are so important to Juni, and having these relationships, and being so excited that I got to experience it with these people, or whatever, creatures and all of the above. And Juni says goodbye to everyone and thanks them and tells them that I hope we can adventure together again. I hope that we cross paths at another point. But I am hopefully on to my next adventure, and I'm going to set off towards the pub or whatever I can find where there's a group of people that might have another fun adventure for me to go on and hone my new skills as I've been working towards.
And you are easily able to find another crew at that port town. A couple of wayward scholars who had been staying at the observatory but now are setting off on their own adventures, and they gladly welcome you into your group. And as you sort of settle in for the night and you start talking with them and get excited, you feel that golden canary figurine that you had gotten kind of rustle in your pocket. and it warms with the heat of a golden dragon. And you know you will always have a memory, and maybe even a friend to remind you and bring you back to this island, should the need ever arise.
I'm not gonna cry.
Who would like to go next?
Camera.
I'll go next. So Bergamot will say her goodbyes to everyone as well as you all depart, go your separate ways. And she starts to step towards the tavern and then turns and decides to take a walk through the ruins of the island. The original ruins that were already there, and now these new ruins that were created today. And she picks up a piece of rock, maybe just kind of can fit in the palm of her hand, and will just kind of stow that away as a memento. And she utters to herself, well, since the gift shop is no longer available, this will have to do. She tucks it away. And then she's going to fly back over to the tavern and bust the door open wide, sling her bow/leer combo, and says, "Who wants a song?" Bring! Starts strumming and singing about fairy dragonborn from the faraway lost lands in the Feywild.
And as you sing, the land itself seems to almost sing back and hum, that same way that a room, when you hit its resonant tone, will sing back to you. And deep, deep down in the earth somewhere, you see a sleeping moonstone dragon quietly curl up a smile as it recognizes that voice and knows that whatever happened in that cave, whatever happened with that shard, it ended up being a very good story, which is all that matters to it. Last but certainly not least, Stella.
Stella, I would like to, if it's okay with you, Kalis, while you're sitting stargazing, you'll feel a soft, slightly arrhythmic stepping on the grass next to you. And I'm there. Would it be okay if I sat for a while? And I sit down. And I will sit with you and look at the stars as I make some adjustments to a small brass device in my hands. It really feels like that idea of the things that are constants in the universe, the dragons being oppositional forces that exist throughout the planes and the multiverse. There's something in that, and I start tweaking it. I think there's more to learn here. Runara promised that she would teach us. Would you want to stay and learn about the stars with me?
I grew up in the stars in the astral plane, so I know a lot about it, and, I came here to learn more about the dragons, and I feel like, at the same time, maybe I wanted to learn more about the people here, and what do they see in the stars that I don't. So, I think I will stay here for a while.
And I think we stick around for a while, until hopefully Runara comes back. Maybe we can help rebuild, we can learn, and then we can gather our friends again and go on the next adventure.
And Runara does come back, eventually, with people in tow to help rebuild the island. Not as a haven of innovation or anything that purports to be moving forward mechanically or arcanely without consideration for the harm it might cause. Runara goes on to build a safe haven on Stormwreck Isle, a place for dragonkind and those associated with it, as well as other adventurers, to rest and relax and have adventures of their own, whether big or small. But those are all stories for another time. And as the stars alight over Stormwreck Isle and we pan away with the sound of Bergamot's lovely, lovely song echoing throughout the tavern and rumbling through the earth, that is where we're going to end this game. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for my lovely cast, as well as our wonderful special guests, including Sam the Leve, Taliesin Jaffe, Amy Dallen, Robbie Daymond, Brennan Lee Mulligan, Matthew Mercer, and Aabria Iyengar. They have all been lovely. This has all been lovely. Thank you so much for letting me be your dungeon master for this, and good night.